huge road win. Ton of credit for our guys for their effort in the second half. I thought, we had to win the turnover battle. We turned them over 20 times and only turned them all over 12 times or so. I thought that was key in the game. Our rebounding, we ended up even, but getting 20 boards, I thought our effort was great. Charles ended up with 6 boards, and each one had 7 total rebounds in the second half. We really needed our guys to come alive. But it's as good a half defensively as we played maybe all year against a quality team. I mean, it's a good team that's going to win a lot of games. They're well coached. They play really hard. And I thought they played harder than us in the first half. We charted blue collar points. They were well ahead of us at the half. I think they were 13 blue collar points ahead of us at the half. We ended up charting it. We winning it by 7. So thought our effort picked up in the second half. When our defensive effort picks up, offense usually comes around. That's what happened tonight. We haven't shot it particularly great, really, for a while. Maybe since the Gonzaga game, but we've played hard enough to win 2 big SEC games here to start the year.
Thanks, Coach. Go ahead and take questions. Mike Rodak, go ahead and get started.
There was a span of 11 minutes there from late in the first half through the second half where Florida didn't have a field goal. First 8 minutes of the second half concluded. Just what was said at halftime that you think kind of got that effort ratcheted up to where, the defense really clamped down there?
You know what? I mean, we just challenged them with the blue collar stuff. Like we came into the game saying we had to win that war, and we were losing it by a large margin at the half. We weren't playing hard enough. So, if we're going to win tough road games, we got to play harder. So, thought, we didn't make any huge adjustments on defense. We went over some stuff that we just had to play harder, be tougher, get some rebounds. They thought they had too many second chance points there, and we thought we picked it up quite a bit in the second half. Just the whole energy level changed, and I think we're down 3 at the half and ended up taking a 15-point lead there at 8 minutes in. So made an 18-point run on them there, kind of at the first 8 minutes of the second half. So I think somebody told me it was a 22-4 run. So you can't do that without getting stops. And then how fast we want to play. They really slowed us down. They did a good job with the press of slowing us down. And when we got stops, they couldn't get into their press. They couldn't slow us down as much. We got out. Thought JQ and JD did a really good job finding guys, and the ball moved a lot better in the second half when we were playing off our stops.
Katie Wyndham, go ahead.
Coach, yesterday you talked about the last trip down to Gainesville where you blew the double-digit lead. And then tonight in the second half, Florida kind of cut it down to 5 after you were at 15. Just how proud of you or your team for not letting up, and kind of what was the key to that tonight?
I mean, yeah, it started to go through my head when they cut it to 4 or 5 there. 5, I think, is as low as they got it. So we needed to get some stops. We made some timely baskets there when they cut it too, and we got some stops. But just keep coaching each possession, one possession at a time. You don't want to talk about the whole game as a whole. In the middle of the game, you're trying to figure out possession by possession what you have to do to win the game. And I thought, both sides of the ball, when they cut it to 5, we got some stops, some big rebounds, some offensive rebounds, but Quinterly made some plays on both ends. He got that steal there late on the backside. He made some good reads on defense. Offensively, he played with really good pace in the second half. Got downhill, find Jawan for those back-to-back, buckets for Jawan was cutting on the baseline that were big. So Quinterly did a good job. All the guys really did. Check won the plus minus at plus 22 when he's in. That doesn't happen, without his defense being where it's at. He played 36 minutes. We win by 13. He's plus 22. That means 4 minutes he was out. We were minus 9, which probably shows you his value of being in the game tonight. So Keon Ellis played great coming back home out of Florida. He's tended to play well against Florida his 2 years with us. So it's happy for him playing back in his home state too.
Drew Dillman.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about both Charles Bediako. He overcame the 2 early fouls to have 11 and 7, and I thought he did a great job on Castleton in the second half. And then Juwan Gary, I thought he showed a lot of toughness closing out the game offensively and finishing at the rim.
Juwan was huge for us. I mean, we challenged him. He only had 1 rebound at the half. He came up with 7 in the second half, big defensive rebounds. He had big offensive rebounds too to keep possessions alive. Had some great slashes, cuts. We finished hard at the rim. He had the big time left hand finish in transition. So I think, and then Charles, Charles been struggling a little bit, guarding some really good post players. He's been great on his help defense. Just, and I thought he was a lot better tonight guarding post guys. So, I happy for Charles. Thought, he's a great kid that wants to do better. He came up with 6 offensive rebounds. If he doesn't get those offensive rebounds, we don't win this game. So he was big for us tonight.
All right, we got 3 more questions in queue. We're trying to get out of here, so we're going to finish with these 3. Go ahead, Maxwell. You can start us off.
Yeah, Coach. You kind of limited them in their transition offense. I think you made that a point of emphasis going into the game. Can you just talk more about what was the game plan with that?
With limiting their transition opportunities? Yeah, so the last game against Tennessee, we had, we show all of our transition defense screw-ups, if you will, every game. We had 15 clips against Tennessee. Thought our half-court defense was pretty good. Our transition was awful against Tennessee. This will be the last time we have a week break between games, barring some type of COVID pause or whatever. So we really locked into our transition D and made a huge point of emphasis. So, I thought some guys made some tough plays. I mean, Quinterly made a really tough play off a turnover to stop a transition bucket. Guys sprinted back, made tough plays. And it's been a huge point of emphasis. And I'm looking right now, like we get the defensive player analysis. Quinterly was a .84 when he was in the game. It was the 3rd best on the team, and really the other 2 didn't play that many minutes. Noah and Keon Ambrose were a .82. So for all the guys that played significant minutes, he was our best guy on the floor defensively, which is a huge step for Javon. We really needed him to take that step, and I was really happy for him on both sides of the ball. When he's as locked in as he was on defense, the offense came pretty easy there in the second half. So
we'll go with Joey Blackwell and finish with Austin. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Coach, you guys have a lot of course, road games in the SEC coming up. I'm just curious, with the first true road game you had against Memphis not going so well, what does a win like tonight on the road do for you guys' and your team's confidence on the road for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's big. It's, a true road game. I don't think anybody would call our Gonzaga game in Seattle a neutral game, though. It felt like we played pretty well on a road game in Seattle against Gonzaga. So, but the first true road game at Memphis, we were awful. I didn't think our guys came ready to play. Our energy stunk. The ball didn't move. This was much better. So I think our guys are showing some leadership, showing some maturity. Like, you got to play well, whether it's home or on the road. These are SEC games. They're tough to win, and there comes a level of intensity and sense of urgency on the defensive end that we had tonight.
All right, let's finish up with Austin. Go ahead.
Coach, you mentioned kind of struggling on offense again. Florida outshot you by percentage on field goals and 3-pointers, but you were able to make 16 of 19 free throws on the road, which is kind of a big deal. How important is it to knock down the free throws on the road, especially?
That's big, and we've made a huge point of emphasis on it. Sometimes free throws are one of those deals that are a mental deal. If you really harp on the guys and they overthink it, it's going to backfire. So we just made a point of emphasis. The guys getting in the gym, we do a little team free throw game at the end of some shoot arounds and try to make them shoot some pressure ones, but we're not over talking about it. We tell the guys, like, you lose yourself in the game, playing hard, making the right defensive plays, just playing the game the right way. If you're a good player and you're at free throw, sure, you step to the free throw line, you make the free throws because it's part of the game and you're just trying to win the game. I think that happened. You go through and you're right. I'm looking at it now. We shot 40%, they shot 42%. We shot 28, they shot 35 from 3. Like, they shot the ball better than we did from the field. And I thought we got ourselves a lot of second chance points, and we turned them over 20 times. We've been making a big point of emphasis on our defensive turnover rate because it's been so low. So I thought our guys played hard at that. But you go down the list. Jawan's 4 for 4. He struggled at the line. Bediako 3 of 4. Keep going. JD 100%. Keon Ellis 100%. We had some guys step up and make some free throws. So that was big. It's nice to win a game at the free throw line as opposed to losing one, because we've been in that position before too.
Talking a little trash on the field? Yeah, we get it. Trashing the state with litter? That's terrible. Keep it clean. Keep Alabama beautiful.